get a chance to post. I told y'all last week and the couple of weeks before that I was going to really try to use Wednesdays to jump on and do a live with y'all and just come out here and talk to y'all, because the season that we're in right now has been really, really hard to sit down and make videos for you guys because the kids are just involved in a lot right now. And of course, we've hit off school. But I wanted to go in, I wanted to try to make a post today and let y'all know that I was going to be going live today at 3. I've kind of announced this, but I have not had a chance to actually stop and I usually try to make like a community post and remind you guys, but I've not had the opportunity to do that today. So I just said I was going to jump on and talk to y'all about some things, just sharing some things and things that's been on my heart. Hey, y'all, thanks some of y'all for jumping on. Because I feel like this is important, and I feel like right now more than any other time we need to be talking about these things and supporting and encouraging one another in this crazy world that we live in right now. Now, I want to pause for just a minute and say, yes, y'all, I have been working outside. I'm really hot and really sweaty, and I've gotten some exercise in. So hence the reason why, yes, sometimes you're going to see me and I'm just going to be sweating, and that is because a lot of the things that I do is just outside. And when you're in the South, you're just going to sweat. That's just the way it is. Pretty much until December and January is about the only break you're going to get from sweating. But I wanted to jump on and talk to y'all today mostly about what we're seeing happening like literally right before our eyes. And you're going to hear a lot of people talk about this NFL stuff, and I did not even know who this person was. So I just want to start off by saying that. Jumping in, doing some research, and trying to find out who this person was. I knew initially by the first pictures that I seen that this dude was not going to be my cup of tea, okay? Mostly because I don't believe that men should be dressing like women, and that's my first initial thought with him, right? So I went in and just started doing some digging and some research on this guy, like before I tried to make assumptions of who this person was. And lo and behold, it was nothing more than literally what I suspected. So apparently this guy was chosen. Now let's get into actually how he got picked by the NFL. So from my research revealed that this guy was chosen by, there's a board, right, that works with the NFL, and they are an advisory board essentially that suggests or pick who should be performing as the halftime entertainment, right? So Jay-Z is over that. A lot of y'all probably know who this person is. Lo and behold, he's like really, really good friends with Barack Obama, and we know very clearly what Barack Obama stood for in his presidency. Just lighting up the White House in rainbow is enough to say that he was trying to take the woke ideology and not only put it in our face, but rub it in our face. So that's kind of what that looks like there coming out of the NFL. I don't know if a lot of y'all actually know that. But so Jay-Z is over that. Of course, he is very woke. And like I said, his BFF, I guess you could say, is Obama. And I'm sure that the idea behind continuing trying to shove woke ideology down our throats is what that is all about. So I do know that a couple of people have stepped up and said, listen, that's really like a slap in the face to us as Americans. Like, first off, this dude is not even American. He hardly speaks English at all. And once Trump got put in the office, he said that he was not going to tour in America at all. He wanted no part of that. And then gave this long, like, stupid rant about his reasons why he wasn't going to come to do a tour in America. So now all of a sudden he's been contacted to do the halftime show in the NFL. Now, I just want to start off by saying that first and foremost, our family personally decided to boycott a lot, starting all the way back from, dude, like I'm talking Target days. When Target started saying that men could go in women's bathrooms, y'all, I'm sorry, we were out. Some of y'all may know this, but some of y'all may not. I'm actually a victim to kidnapping. I was kidnapped in 2005 when I was 18 years old. I did a video about everything that happened over on the Max channel. It's a really old video that I did a long time ago, and I basically just got on there and shared my story because I feel like it's important. There are so many today that get kidnapped and they lose their voice to say this is real and it really happens, because 9 out of 10 of those people end up murdered. And I was very blessed, and it was only by God's grace that where I found myself and what all happened to me, that I was able to literally walk away from that. Because it was a gentleman that I did not know. He was a truck driver, and he already had this pre-planned. He just did not know who he was going to get. And I happened to be, I don't want to say in the wrong spot at the wrong time, but he saw me in the parking lot, y'all. It was 2 o'clock in the middle of the day. So I wasn't putting myself in a situation like a peculiar situation. Like, it was in the middle of the day, in the parking lot, in town, in the middle of public, okay? And I noticed the guy. I don't want to get into all the details, and some of the stuff I just can't share on here because it's public. But I saw the guy. I walked completely around him because I just had that gut feeling that something was not right. Got in my car. As soon as I sat down, he had come behind me, opened the door and slipped in my car, pulled up his shirt, showed me the butt of the gun, and told me, don't do anything stupid. So there I was. And he kept me for a couple of hours. And long story short, I was able to witness to that man because he had gone through a very traumatic experience himself and had a lot of mental issues going on just with himself. So I shared with him Jesus, because that's what he needed, and he let me go. So I have a voice, and I'm going to use it to say, guys, it's real. It does happen. And it's not ever something that I want to happen to another man, woman, boy, or girl, okay? It's just not one of those things that I ever want to happen to somebody else. So I'm going to use my voice to bring awareness to ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, parents. Please be aware of your surroundings. It is so important to try to be as physically fit as you can, and training as well. So I have a concealed carry, and I went through a class for training for that, and we practice. So it's not one of those things I ever want to have to reach for or ever want to go for, but if it calls for protecting my children, then I'm going to do that. So I said all that to say, like, my family is very cautious about certain things and what we're exposed to as well. So things like bringing things like taking my girls to the bathroom and knowing that there's a man in there, it's not going to happen. So we cut Target out a long time ago. Also, when the NFL started with all of their BLM jazz and all of that, we stopped watching. Like, that was just it. That's not what it should be about. And bringing up systemic racism, which actually doesn't even exist, into something like that, just there's just not a place for it there. And so anyway, we cut NFL out a long time ago, and we don't watch NFL. Now, here's where I want to go with this. And I see there's a bully on there, y'all. I ain't even worried about him. So I have got really thick skin. I have been through a lot in my life. So his little bullying, like, guys, y'all, for real, I could honestly care less. I have really thick skin, and you're not going to hurt my feelings. So I want to get back to my point, though. Whenever that kind of trash is being played, it's not going to be on my TV, okay? I'm not going to stand for it. Now, my husband actually loves NFL. He likes the entertainment side of football, but he is in agreement with me that sometimes we have to sacrifice things that we like for a cause. And that's what I wanted to get on here and really talk about is, there are some things in life that you may enjoy, okay? But is your enjoyment worth losing your what you stand for in the long run, is what I'm trying to say. And for me, the answer is no. My entertainment and my pleasure is not worth the sacrifice of bringing that trash into my house, and secondly, fallen victim to all of their messages. So the only way to combat that is to stand against it. And the only way any of us can do this is to stand together. But it does come with a sacrifice. So I don't want to undermine that. Like, I know a lot of people is like, well, I like the NFL, so I'm going to watch them anyway. I don't care what they do. Well, essentially what you're saying is you're in agreement with what they're doing, because if you don't stand for something, you're going to fall for everything. And that's my main encouragement for y'all today is, I know that's like a bitter pill to swallow, because we like what we like, right? Like, we're selfish society. We've been taught that. And if you don't stand for something, guys, you're going to fall for everything. So there has to come a time and a point and place where you draw the line and you say enough is enough. And we're far beyond that in many of the things that we see today. Men being allowed in women's restroom is number one on my list. Absolutely. No way, Jose. So if we are ever in a place where a man can come in the restroom with me and my girls, we won't even walk through your door. I'm just telling you now, you will not get a penny from my family. So if we all stood together on that principle and that fact of saying, y'all, we're not going to do this, their pocketbook is going to hurt and they're going to hear our message. But it is literally going to take enough people, just like with the whole Bud Light thing, y'all. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't even have to bring it up and get into details. You know what I'm talking about. The whole Bud Light message, like, it sent out a message, and I'm just telling you, like, you don't see the dude's woman face on many ads anymore, because they got the message loud and clear. And I feel like we have to unite together and do that. And all of these woke situations where they're trying to not only put it in your face, but they're smeared in your face. And no doubt that by picking this guy, like I said, I didn't even know what he was, but it did not take me long to figure out that he is for sure not my cup of tea. But when I see a man in a woman's hot pink dress and a woman's white dress and tongue tied with some other, you can't even tell if it's a man or a woman, it ain't happening. That's not coming on my TV. But y'all, it literally takes a sacrifice. It literally takes you saying, I'm not going to tolerate this. I'm going to send a message to the NFL. Yeah, I might like the game of football. I might like watching some of those guys. They're really incredible athletes. But at some point in time, we have to inconvenience ourselves for a message. And, like I said, it's a hard pill to swallow, because we are such a selfish society. But we have to get over ourselves and do what's for the better good. And those are just two of the things that immediately come to mind. So my family has done that in a lot of situations. There are places we don't go in June for the same reasons, because I don't support the lifestyle, because it is a sinful lifestyle. I love the people, don't support the lifestyle. And y'all, really, biblically, I know what it says, okay? There's a lot of people that can take passages, manipulate them, and make them say what they don't actually say, okay? However, I will say this. None of us, we can speak the truth, and we can do it lovingly. And I 100% think that we should all do that, because If I see a friend, I don't care if you're black, white, Cuban, or Asian, man or woman, I don't care. If I see a friend and I have a friend and they're headed for a cliff, it would be my loving duty to stop them and say, you're fixing to fall off the cliff. Take your blindfold off. I don't want to see you fall, right? That's what a loving person would do. A non-loving person would sit back and keep their mouth shut and watch them fall off the cliff. So to lovingly approach someone with the truth. But here's the thing, we can't make people change, and all we can do is speak truth, and we have to let God open their eyes, right? So we can speak truth to people, pray that God will do the rest, and we can't make them change. Now, the lifestyle that they decide to live sexually or behind closed doors, I mean, it is their business. I want to love them and I want to share the truth with them. But ultimately, if they decide to engage in a perverse lifestyle, that is their business. But here's where I have a problem. When you start dragging that mess in my face and in my kids' face, I have a problem with it. So that's where, again, I draw the line. And whenever, I don't even put myself in those situations. So if I know somebody's doing this, or somebody's going to be here, or this celebration is going on, I avoid it 100% because I just don't agree with that lifestyle. So anyway, going back to say all of that about this guy, he is very questionable in his character. And to me, I feel like it is nothing more than a slap in the face to the American people to decide to ask someone who's not even from our country, that can't even really speak English, and has a whole line of immorality behind him, and parade that around in front of our families. I have a big problem with that. And the only way we're going to make a difference is to cut the crap off. Cut it off. As I told y'all before, we don't watch the NFL. If you watch the NFL, and you don't want to see that, I encourage you to be proactive in the message and cut it off. We can't entertain what that is in our own lives, because when you dabble in something and you slowly become immune to the perversion, before long it doesn't affect you. I hope that makes sense to what I'm trying to say. If they show you little pieces here and there, and you're not proactive to say, I will not take part in that, then over time it's not that big of a deal. And we have seen that over the decades of generations of how this is slowly played in to our TV, our music. Y'all, 60 years ago, this would have been so frowned upon. People would have been up in arms, like literally up in arms about what comes on our TV, the vulgarity in the music that you listen to that's played on the radio now. 50 and 60 years ago, 70 years ago, this was unheard of. But because it has slowly, a couple of drops at a time, been dripped into every part of our life, now we act like it's not that big of a deal, and it is a huge deal. And I really want y'all to pay attention to who these people are, what they're doing, and what messages they are sending across. It's not good for our families. And we, as a Christian, conservative, or even if you're just say, okay, I'm not Christian, or I am conservative-ish, but I still have some maybe ideas, because y'all, I've been doing a lot of listening to a lot of people lately, and maybe they're just kind of on the fence or on the line, but then they still have at least some moral concepts. Guys, if you're anywhere in that bucket list, like, we have to stand together, and we can't let what some of these people, and y'all know who I talk about when I say some of these people, divide us. We have to stand united, and we have to stand together with this message going out. And I just wanted to encourage y'all there, because like I said, I understand, like, there's a lot of things we want to do because we like it and we enjoy it, but then there has to come a time to say, I'm going to stand on the truth, I might have to sacrifice my wishes or my wants for the better good. So I hope that you guys will think about some of those things and take them seriously, because I have kids, some of you have kids, grandchildren. If we don't send a message now, then I would hate to know like what my grandchildren are going to be seeing if the perversion gets any worse than it already is. So I pray that y'all think about that, ponder on that. I'm going to end by saying this. I am terribly sorry about the last live. I got on here, guys, completely shocked at this now. Got on, I pulled out my elderberry syrup, my elderberry tincture. I had red onion infused honey, which is a fantastic syrup to take as well. And what else did I have out here? Oh, and my own capsules that I made at home, right? So talking about all these things, y'all, I didn't get 5 minutes into elderberry syrup, the benefits of elderberry syrup, before, y'all, my live just crashed. It's not happened before, but I brought all those things out and started talking about them, and then all of a sudden my live just totally crashed. And from my end, I saw it buffering a little bit. I saw that the comments kind of weren't coming through, and I was like, but it's still saying that I'm live and my time is still going. So I'm going to at least try to film, and maybe it'll upload right. It didn't. It like cut it off immediately, y'all. So I was doing so much teaching. I really wanted to share that with y'all, because I know a lot of sickness is right around the corner, right? Like we don't really have like cold and flu season anymore. It's all year round, but it does seem to get much worse in the fall and winter, and really even flows right over into the spring. But I really wanted to tell y'all about all of the things that I do at home. Elderberry syrup, elderberry tincture. I kind of talked about the differences there and how I use them differently. And some of the other things that I use that are natural and that are so beneficial for our bodies, that build our bodies up. But y'all, my video got cut off. There was literally nothing that I could do from my end. When it started buffering, like y'all, they shut it down. And it was literally 5 minutes I'm sorry, it was like 7 minutes in. I had only been talking about elderberry for just a couple of minutes, and literally it got cut off. So I apologize about that, y'all. I'm really sorry. People with allergies, I'm trying to kind of see some of the comments as they come across. So personally, I use goldenrod tincture for my allergies, because I have really bad allergies in the spring, and to the point where all day is sneezing for me, especially if I'm not like, I use goldenrod very much, and it does help tremendously. So maybe look into some goldenrod tincture. It is very, very beneficial for a lot of things, but allergies being one of those. So guys, I'm going to get off here. I just wanted to encourage you to think about what comes across through that thing you call a TV that is broadcasted to your family. Guys, please don't undermine or underestimate the message that's being crammed in our throats. Like, I know that we all want to fit in, and I know we all want to enjoy ourselves and overlook what is being put out there, but we can't overlook it. Like, you can't. So I hope to bring some light, shed some light on this and some encouragement. I hope that the NFL will step in and say, that's not somebody we really want representing the National Football League. Let's pick someone else. Do I think they're going to do that? I don't think so. But let's put enough pressure on them, y'all, that they'll think twice about it next year, is my hopes. And I wish you guys the best rest of the day, a great rest of the day. I have a kid that I have to go pick up, but I did want to come on here and talk to you, encourage you, and bring light to the depravity and the gross perversion that we're living in, and say we have to speak up. Like, we have to speak up. Sacrifice yourself. I know it's not easy. It's not what we want, but we have to, guys. We have to. Until next time, God bless and happy homesteading, y'all.